I love The Office. I just wish that there was more of it. So in this video, I'll be attempting to write a basic artificial intelligence that can write me new episodes of the TV show The Office. So this is the idea. I found this on Reddit, every line from every episode of The Office, which is from the user Misunderstood Poetry. And it's a gigantic Google Sheets that has every single line of every single episode of The Office on it. And there's thousands of entries here. It is huge. So the idea is that I'm going to go through and I'm going to parse all of this text out. And we're going to go through each word and determine what is the word that most likely will follow each word. If that doesn't make sense, here's a quick little explanation.
So let's take the Sam I Am poem as an example. Remember, we go through each word and we record what the word is that follows it. So the first word is I, and that is followed by the word am. Then we go to the next word, which is am, and that is followed by the word Sam. Then we go to the next word, which is Sam, and the word following Sam is I. And so this is what our dictionary looks like so far. The next word on the list is I, and that is followed by the word am. Am was already in the list, so that has now appeared twice. The next word on the list is am, and that is followed by the word Sam. And then the next word is Sam, which is followed by the word Sam again. Now we can see that there's two words that are followed by the word Sam, and there's two entries under the key Sam. So here in the blue, we see the table of this poem. On the left of the colon are all the unique words that are in this poem. On the right is the values that are corresponding to each of the keys. And basically what this tells us is the odds of what word follows each word. So for example, looking at the first index, the word I is followed by the word am 7 times and the word do 3 times. The word am is followed by the word Sam twice, by the word that twice, by the word I twice, and by the word do 1 time. And we can see, for example, the word you is only followed by one word throughout the entire poem, and that is the word like, and it's only followed by like once. And now with this information, we can generate more text or continue the poem. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with any word. It really doesn't matter what word we start with, but I'm just going to choose the word I. And if we look at the word I, it can be followed either by the word am or do. Now the odds are a lot more likely that it'll be followed by the word am, 7-3 odds, but it also is possible that it is do. And now we look at each of those words and we see what words follow them. And you can see that there's sort of this tree that's formed. And these are only the first 3 words of the tree, but you can imagine this can go on as long as you want it to. So the algorithm will start with the word I, and then it will choose which word goes after, and then which word goes after, and it will continue like that.
Now we can use the same concept on the data that we found off Reddit of the words from The Office. Okay, so what I've done here is I've downloaded that Google Sheets into this comma separated values file, and I've opened it in Visual Studio Code. And as you can see, this is the gigantic Google Sheets. And it's got a whole bunch of these numbers up here in the front, and it's just a little bit messy. We don't really want to be reading the CSV file. We want a text file. So I wrote this Python script, super simple. It basically just goes through and extracts only the column of that CSV that has the text of what's been said. It also gets rid of everything in the brackets. So for example, growls, that's not an actual word that's been said. It's just kind of like there. So we get rid of that. Like imitates heavy drumming. We don't want that either. So that Python script will bring this CSV file into this text file with all the lines of all the scenes of The Office. So here's some more Python code that I wrote. This right here, it reads the text file that we just created, and it does some things with it. Number one is it switches it all to lowercase, and it also gets rid of some certain characters. And the reason I do this is because to the program, there's really no difference in the word that is spelled like that or that is spelled like that. So that's why I convert everything to lowercase so that the program will treat these two words as the same because they are the same word. The case really doesn't matter to us. Similarly, the word um, hello and the word hello with a comma at the end, because I split it by spaces. Um, this would not be the same as this. So what I've done is I've treated all of the punctuation, like commas, periods, exclamation marks, question marks, as their own words. So basically, I go through, and if the word ends in a comma, I basically go like that. That's what this code right here is doing. And the reason why I do this will make a little bit more sense as like in the future. But basically, I just treat all these punctuations as their own word, and I have this list that is all the words that have been said in the office. So now with that list of words, we need a way to store them. And so this is where the table class that I wrote comes into play. The table class basically holds a whole bunch of word info objects. Um, this is the word info object. And it holds the number of times that a word has been said and a dictionary of the following words. And so if a word hasn't been said, it's placed in the following words list with a occurrence of 1. If it has already been said and it's already in the list, you just increment the number of times that that word's been said. So that's kind of going back to the example of the Sam I Am poem. And here in the table class, you can see that I write this table to a file called output.txt. So just to show you what that looks like, this is what the table would look like for the entire script of all of the Office. You can see the word right has been said 2,674 times. The word Jim, 5 of those times has appeared after the word right. Um, for example, the word you has appeared this many times. Usually that's the last word of the sentence. That's why there's a period there. But 17 times it's called, for example, like you called. The word the has appeared a whole lot. That's the most common word in the Office. Um, but you can see the word regional has appeared 32 times after the word the, probably when it's saying assistant to the regional manager. So this is the table of the Office script. Now that we have this table, it's pretty simple to continue generating more text from the Office. In my runner file here, I created the table with a list of words, and then I called the continue generating function, which you can see here. I give it a number of words that I want it to continue generating. In this case, I chose 300 words. And you just choose a random word from the table, which I did here. And for each of the 300 new words, I added a new word to my generated words list. This get next word function is called here in the word info, which is, it just gets the odds of like what word would follow. Like if the word very, if you get the next word of the word very, it's possible that you get the word good or much, but it's pretty unlikely you'll get the word low, just because there's only a 2 in 1,024 chance that you'll get the word low. But there's a 28 out of 1,024 chances to get the comma after. So that's what I did here in this code right here. And I add a line break for each of the punctuations. This just makes it a little bit easier to read. And I write the output to the generated continuation file. And each time you run this, it'll be a little bit different just because you're getting a random word. So the random numbers are a little bit different each time you run it. But I just ran this just now, and this is what I got from the script. As you can see, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Wretched machine, it's awful. All right, turn these things 10 to this is just simmer down here. How to answer now, bravo. It obviously doesn't make a lot of sense. You can read through this a little bit. It's my favorite part right here. I'm gonna die from your car. So then you want to myself wondering. Oh, I also like this part. I, very passionate lover. You're embarrassing. Yeah, listen up, everybody. No. It's just a whole bunch of random words, pretty much. The cool thing is that all of these words are in the Office, and it kind of tries to follow the script to the office, but obviously it doesn't make sense because, you have one word here. You know that the word very sometimes follow the word look, but you don't know the rest of the context. You're only looking at the one previous word before. So in order to make this a little bit more, um, in order to make it make sense a little bit more, you need to look at maybe the rest of the sentence or something like that, like the previous three words instead of just the previous word. Um, but using this data, it is possible to do that. This is just my first time ever writing um, anything like this at all. So I just figured I'd give it a shot. I'll run it a couple more times, see what other funny scripts I can get, and I'll share those with you in a second. Haunches will lay down in the truth. I will be with Shrew, and I'll snatch your cats in my tradition. I mean, okay, 20 minutes of those are the job to me. What's the youngest VP position? I say hi? No? Huh? Bye. And they're men. You have hundreds of you have my lady friend. He is a fake boobs. Oscar. What? Michael. We go for Dwight. I'm going to stop. We've detected some darkly erratic in Jim. Stop it was mine, was it? I was a little grape head to stay at her for me to me. I'm gonna lose everything here. It's kind of cool how it got New York Stock Exchange, which are four words that I'm sure were exactly in that order in the show, but it just happened to get all four of those in order randomly. Well, this project didn't go as well as I thought it would, but at least I learned that it's probably important to know better the context before you start generating new text. Um, so maybe in the future I'll try to improve on it and I'll take into consideration the last couple words instead of just the last word. That'll just take some switching around of how I store the data. But thanks for watching up at this point.